Stretch it out. Hola, hola. Welcome to your guided stretch. We are going to go through a front fascia line opening and a supported back bend. So this is vertebral mobility. This is you learning how to start listening to your tissues and your body. So as you listen, you're just getting set up to drop into this guided stretch. So you need a ball. If you don't have a ball, you can still do this with a bunch of pillows. So you would rest the pillows underneath your chest, so at your shoulder blades in your back. So you feel like you're opening your chest, you're opening your diaphragm. That thoracic extension, the opposite position than what we spend in all day, what gravity pulls us down into. So we're just wanting to open the chest here and also allow the vertebrae to melt and rest. Now, if you're using a ball, you're just going to have a seat on the ball and just start landing into the ball. Start softening your network as you sit on it and just feeling your feet grounded on the floor. And just doing a quick little body scan here, kind of emptying the last few thoughts of the day for this next little while, doing your best with that. So coming into the body, allowing the nervous system to slowly slow down the brain waves, drop into a parasympathetic. These are just such juicy, necessary things to happen in order for our stretches to be effective and us to really start feeling differently. So love it. Continue getting heavier, and you're going to start walking your feet out. So as you walk your feet out, you're going to rest more of your back onto the ball. And as you continue resting, you're just going to start softening the body. Slide your feet against a base of support, if there's a baseboard or anything that's stable, so you feel a little bit more easier to just soften the network. The body feels supported. So you don't want your feet to be slipping or anything like that. You can always bend your knees to bring your tailbone closer to the ground. And as you're ready here, you're going to start exploring how it feels to gently start resting back onto the ball, one vertebrae at a time, guiding your head slowly down. Your head's pretty much the last thing to drop down as you just relax each vertebrae and noticing where you're at with your head. So you can adjust from here if you need to. And really just allowing yourself to get comfortable here. So when the head is relaxed, our nervous system can really start to understand that it doesn't have to be an activation. And you're closing your eyes, or you can open them, and just really starting to, again, come into your body. Keep breathing into the back of your skull. So as you empty those thoughts from the day, you're going to bring your attention elsewhere, okay? This is why I love movement, because it is basically meditation. It allows us to come into our body. This is also why candles are amazing. Anything that helps you feel your body using your senses. Good. Now, as you start to rest each vertebrae on the ball, allowing the rest of the network to relax, anything in the legs, the feet, the jaw, the throat, and you're feeling the supported back bend. Noticing the tailbone and the sacrum, and allowing it all to just kind of melt just a little bit. Finding your exhale, and as you exhale, allowing your body to melt. So even if you think you're melting, you're going to try to melt a little bit more. Noticing the expansion of your rib cage. Now you can continue melting here. From here, your arms are either supporting your neck or your head, or they're out by your side, like in a T shape, just like you're giving a big hug. And then just notice wherever your arms fall. So sometimes they'll fall right behind you. Sometimes they'll fall down. Just kind of let them fall, ideally avoiding any pinching. Letting the head and the fascial network soften. Notice any movements or any muscles that are preventing movement. They're just guarding. So we're really in a different position now. So it might feel awkward. Really, it might hurt a little bit. But if you can adjust and shimmy and support, and really just continue finding safety and softness. We don't want to push through pain, but just seeing where you can kind of shift around. And if you need to come right out of it, yes, if you have been flexed over a computer or a car all day, you're going to want to just take a second and just come out of it. Lifting your head up, giving your body a second for all the blood to kind of rush wherever it needs to rush, and then going back. So this can have various impacts on different people. If you feel like, all the blood's rushing to your head, or if you feel lightheaded, or if you feel like you went a little bit dark on the way up, no problem. Your body is calibrating. So you really just want to support yourself, listen to your boundaries, don't push past. Something's telling you to come out, you just gently come out. So as you lay here, waving your arms like as if you're doing, making snow angels in the snow. Softening the throat and the jaw. Good. And now you can start straightening out your legs and really bringing the ball under your hips. Noticing if you can release any muscle tension that's kind of not really needed. So as the body feels supported, you can just kind of like literally shut off muscles with your breath and with your awareness. So now you feel the ball pushing up to the back of your pelvis. So it's opening up the front line, the hip flexors, the pelvic floor. This is where our digestive system is. This is where our diaphragm is, our breathing muscle. All our organs are in our abdomen. So just allowing yourself to soften here, allowing your body to open. We want to circulate through all those organs. Noticing if you can breathe a couple of times into your lower back. I feel like an auctioneer sometimes. Amazing. I just like to give enough cues so we can just continue staying in our body. Any intuitive movements are welcome and encouraged. Taking all your attention into your front line. So right around the diaphragm. So think of the rib cage and the bottom of the sternum. So right in the center of your body, your core. Starting to connect from there. And as you breathe in, your diaphragm pulls down and your rib cage expands. And taking your attention down and down. And as you exhale, noticing the diaphragm relax and the rib cage rest. No worries if this feels a little bit odd or you're not sure, because chances are you're doing it right. We just gotta continue learning what our bodies are supposed to be doing and how we can just open up the energetic pathways so our body can heal itself. So continuing to breathe into your digestive system and your stomach and all the work it does. Oxygen gives our organs life force. So if you ever feel like you have digestive issues or food intolerances or bloating or stagnant bowels, even liver dysfunction, a lot of times is those organs are just lacking in oxygen. So when we can open the fascial lines and send our attention there, we send in the circulation. Good. Few breaths here to do whatever intuitive movements come to you. Noticing the jaw, just allowing it to unhinge. Breathing into the ears and the eyes. Good. And then from here, we're gonna slowly, no rush, return back, slowly starting to bring some movement to the knees Starting to bend the knees a little bit, releasing any muscles that don't need to be on, and starting to rest your tailbone and then your lumbar on the ball until you're kind of like in a forward, like if you had a mirror in front of you, you'd be squatting in front of the mirror. And or if you're sitting on the ball, that's great too. Lovely. So coming out of your stretches nice and gentle, so it just creates some trust with the body. The body knows that you move in accordance to its signals. Perfect. Now from here, you're going to do the same thing on your side. So you're going to find your whichever hip you want is going to just rest on the ball. And you're going to stagger your stance. Bottom leg is going to go in front. Top leg goes behind. And you can either bend the knees, but you're going to start resting into a side bend. So finding, again now, each vertebrae, we just took it into extension, so that back bend. This time we're taking it over to the side. So you're going to try to kind of get tall here with your chest. Give your body some length. Maybe shimmy those shoulders up and just kind of like shimmy your spine up a little bit, whatever that means to you. And then from here, you gently rest into a supported back bend. Your hand can touch the floor. And you just can start resting your head and your neck and breathing into the side rib cage, feeling the opening, softening anything that doesn't need to be on, and just breathing into those intercostals. This is amazing. So the lateral line, this is the side of the body where you're stretching right now, holds and protects us a lot. So if you can soften in a side bend, you're really en route to just opening up your diaphragm and your digestive system and all the circulation. So when you're ready, you can bring your arm up and just let it wave, or just find a point where you can let it rest and soften there. Noticing the head and the throat, and just getting heavier onto the ball. Now you can stay here for another 15 or so. You can wave that arm back, so like you're giving a hug, and just notice breathing down the arm line. And you can even shift your rib cage, so you might find it comfortable to, like, as your arm falls back, you kind of notice your chest falling forward, maybe. If you feel comfortable on the ball, maybe not. Good, waving that arm around. So opening up the arm line is very beneficial to releasing neck tension and jaw and shoulder pain. Just opening up through the pec, breathing into the heart space, and really sending your warm, healing breath into that pec and that arm, and letting it rest, and letting your head find some resting position here too. Good. Slowly starting to bring your arm back to wherever is comfortable, and you just start slowly making your way out of this using your own intuitive movements. You're going to try and come out slow. Good, good. And when you're ready, making your way onto the other side. Finding your resting position. Both sides definitely feel different. Always adjusting your stance and your foot placement. Really allowing your feet to feel like they're supporting you. So if your feet are not comfortable, it's going to be hard for the rest of the body to feel stable. And as you find comfortable positions, melting here, side bending, elongating, lengthening your head away from your hips, and softening onto the ball. Now this time we're flexing the vertebrae over to the other way. So we're literally squeezing and wringing out the vertebrae and allowing them to invite more circulation, more synovial fluid, and allow the nervous system to feel safe and bending in all positions. Noticing your expansion of your rib cage on the ball, keeping the head heavy, noticing the neck and the cervical spine. Notice if you can get heavier and if there's any tension or any muscles that are on because they're not quite sure, seeing what you can do with those. And whenever you're ready, bringing that arm overhead. I'm letting it drape over. And as you lay here, you're going to start applying a little bit of pressure with the back foot into the baseboard or the support. And allowing the bottom leg to soften. We didn't do this on the other side, so you can do it next time. This is just applying a little bit of stress, like we're just pushing a little bit. Remember, we don't want to go past. We want the body to still be able to breathe. So you just apply a little bit of pressure from your foot. Feel it traveling up the front line through the tissues. So you're going to listen to the tissues. So this is lovely. This is part of the work. So every time you do this guided stretch, it's just going to get better and better. Okay. So applying that pressure, feeling that into your hip, and then feeling this all the way into your lat, perhaps your shoulder. Resting through the ear, and the neck is completely just draped over. Applying a contraction that's really gentle, so you can either keep the contraction or you can come out of it. As long as you can breathe, you can do what feels good to you. Remember, more is not better, less is more, in fact. So yes, keep telling yourself that. Good. And resting, if you were contracting, just melting even deeper. A few breaths here, breathing into the intercostal muscles that you've opened up, breathing into the kidneys on this side, breathing into the hip, and just directing your attention even in like a circular motion from your hip to your digestive system, so coming up to the front and then circling around, right around the rib cage, circling around to the kidneys. And just kind of like make the tie, connect, allow the body to open. A big part of healing is connecting the body and the mind so the nervous system can actually make the neurological connections and the body can feel the deep layers that are really, it's just the deepest work. So continue getting deeper. I can't express how, first of all, you've already done amazing because you've already worked with me and I most likely have pushed you a little bit. So you kind of want to just keep building the trust with yourself. And we're really not working with ego here. So if you're pushing out of an ego space, catch that and really you want to listen to the tissues. Get into the body, mindful stretching, and remembering it's a practice. There'll be times you'll veer off the beaten path, but you will be back. And it's just a practice. So worth it. Good. So now you've oxygenated your tissues. You've oxygenated your organs. You've allowed the nervous system to fall into a parasympathetic rest and digest. And when you're ready, you're slowly coming out of it if you haven't already. Being in these stretches is a lot of work. So really, I'm proud of you for going through this. Your practice here is literally just celebrated. So I will definitely record another one of these for you. Please come back to this one again. Remember, it's not even about the quantity of stretches and how many different fancy stretches we do, but it's the quality and getting deeper and listening and getting even smarter with your body. Yes. And down the line, we do contractions. So we add little muscle contractions to the stretch work. I may have done it with you already, I may have not. Okay, my friend, you're amazing. I love you. Thanks for showing up. Enjoy the rest of your day. See if you can go through it with ease. Hydrate, and I will see you soon.